What is going on, everybody? Season Pixels here, and I'm here to bring you another StormWatch special report, this time on all the election craziness. I want to give people a little bit more time to roll on in to this stream. I see you guys out there in YouTube, and I'm also monitoring the chat on DLive with my phone down here. That's pretty much the only choice I got to do that. So thank you guys for being here, whether you're on DLive, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, wherever else we are broadcasting. I appreciate you guys being here. But let's go ahead. I'm going to play the StormWatch intro video, give people a chance to pile on in here for a few more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get into the updates that I've got for you guys. Let's do it.
So what this represents, well, release the calm before the storm.
What's the storming?
Could be calm before the storm.
The Obama FBI obtained secret warrants to spy on my campaign based on a phony foreign dossier of debunked smears paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton and the DNC.
We have an army of digital soldiers. What we are now, what I call them, because this was an insurgency, folks. This was run like an insurgency. This was irregular warfare at its finest in politics.
That a former FBI lawyer will plead guilty to making a false statement in the first criminal case coming from the John Durham probe into the Russia investigation.
Today, we announced charges against Ghislaine Maxwell for helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploit and abuse multiple minor girls.
Our radical Democrat opponents are driven by hatred, prejudice, and rage. They want to destroy you, and they want to destroy our country as we know it. Not acceptable. It's not going to happen.
All right, guys, I want to go ahead and start this off by first of all saying, hey, Coffee Lady 59, thank you for the lemons on DLive. And thank you guys all for being here once again. I do have a big pile of stuff to get through with you guys today. But honestly, it's not all the stuff out there. If I did that, I'd be on here for hours and hours and hours. And I want to try and keep this one a little bit quick. In fact, that's why I'm live. I didn't want to take the time to upload this after making it. So you guys get to be here with me live, and I get to be here with you. And you guys are the best. Coffee Lady 59 just gave another 2 lemons. I appreciate that very much. I want to go ahead and start this off by asking everybody out there watching right now, and I'm monitoring both the YouTube and DLive chats, how many of you, and be honest, okay, how many of you are worried right now? If you are worried, put a 1 in live chat. If you are not worried, put a 2 in live chat. And I just want to take a few minutes to let that all come in and see where you guys are standing right now. Also, FUHK YouTube just downloaded or just donated 2 lemons. Thank you very much. Infantry deplorable. Oh boy, deplorable 110320 just donated 1 diamond. Thank you very much for the diamond. Appreciate that big time. All right, so I'm seeing some 1s. I'm seeing some 1.5s. I'm seeing a lot of 2s. And I agree with the 2s. Lindy Hand says mad as hell. Trust me, guys. Anger is not unacceptable at this point in time. In fact, anger is natural. Our democracy is under attack, and I know that the left says that a lot, but actually our voting integrity this election is under attack. The Democrats are trying to steal this election with voter fraud, particularly with mail-in ballots and ballots that seem to just appear out of nowhere, and they're all for Biden, right? At 4 a.m. We were broadcasting live on this channel, election night, late into the night, and we were, I guess we weren't surprised, but we were very, very upset at what was going on, and that's very, very understandable. And I'm with you guys. I'm very angry, but I'm also not worried, and that is because President Trump does not seem worried to me. Plus, President Trump knew this was coming. He warned us for months in advance. So obviously, they've got a plan to basically make this not happen, to expose this all, and hopefully to win the election and hold those accountable for trying to steal it. Getting even more lemons out there in DLive. BRNIZQ donated 1 lemon. RafazQ donated 1 lemon. So did BJ McPhail 1, 4 lemons. And hey, I remember your name. I hope you're doing well out there, BJ McPhail. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen share on. Let's get into some of these updates. I have some videos for you guys. I've got some articles, and there's been a ton of stuff coming out. What are they hiding, says Thomas Fessler. Yeah, what are they hiding? Well, a ton. Lisa Meyer, thank you very much. I do believe I am on the ball. I was very angry for a few days, and I kind of just had to take a step back and take a breath and look at everything as objectively as possible, right? Logical thinking. I think we're going to be okay. Vernon Peterson, thank you very, very much for your super chat. He says, please like and share. Yes, please like this live stream here and share it all over. I'm going to be going through some really awesome stuff, some big updates that have happened today. And like I said, this isn't even all the stuff that has happened today. This is just the stuff that I have curated for you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look. First thing on the list here is a tweet from Methods. It's actually an entire thread. I won't play the entire thread here just for the purposes of time, but I will go ahead. I'll share the first link of the thread for you guys out there in the live chat. There it is. If you want to watch this entire thing after this program, then feel free to do so. So Method says a must watch, and let's just go ahead. We're going to take a look at the first video to give you guys an idea, if you haven't seen this already, to give you guys an idea of what this is. This is Vernon Peterson speaking. Afterwards, we have Doug Collins, and then Donald Trump Jr., and then Vernon Jones speaks again. So let's take a look at the first video and just let it play out.
Hello, Georgia! Hello, Georgia! In case y'all didn't know, I'm a Southerner, and we believe in fighting. This fight is just getting started. We're starting now to see the white of their eyes, and we get ready to start shooting. Let me tell you something. The people of this state, Georgians, the voters of this state, has a right to have their vote not only counted, but they need to know the results here in Georgia. When I look at these communities, these Democratic-led cities where votes haven't come in yet, that tells me right there what we've been saying all along. This is a failure, and this is actually a part of the pandemic of failure of the Democratic leadership. It doesn't matter what color you are or what party you are. Your vote deserves to be counted, and we need to know what those results are. We need to know now. How in the hell you can send a man to the moon, but you can't get results in 24 hours? Something's wrong with that. Let me tell you, I'm cut from the same cloth that Donald Trump is cut from. We fight. We're not about to even concede to anybody. We are going to stay on the battlefield until the last man drops. Let me tell you that right now. And I'm honored to stand with some of the most incredible fighters, truth fighters, with me behind me. They'll be talking in a minute, but I want to say to you right now, transparency is important. Every legal vote being counted is important. What the posters have done and the far left has done, and there's been no fair fight, it's been a legal fight. The fight's been fixed. That's real voter suppression. That is real voter suppression. I want to say to the great Georgians here tonight and across this country, everybody, Georgia is one of the original 13 colonies. And we're going to stand up for our lefts, and we're going to stand for our voting rights too. We're going to fight this to the end. There's been too many irregularities.
What an awesome video. That was just the first part of Vernon Jones's speech. And I gotta say, you gotta love Vernon Jones, man. He's awesome. I want to take a second here just to appreciate some of the viewers that have been supporting the channel here. English Flower, the Demon Rats have no place to hide Trump. Trump 2020, where we go on, we go all. Bunch of flags and stuff like that, hearts and prayer, folded hands. Very, very kind. Thank you very much, English Flower. We also have some more support coming in over at DLive. I see you guys. You're the best. We had a few people. The chat's gone for me now too. I can't scroll up that far, but I think Trump Be Cool signed up. He subscribed for a month, I believe, and BJ McPhail has given us some more lemons and stuff, so thank you very much. And I know that other people also gave some lemons, but I lost your messages. It only lets you scroll so far on the phone. But anyways, thank you guys very much. I'm going to share the link to this thread here. Again, if any of you missed it, go ahead, open that up in a new tab. I guarantee you will enjoy all of those speeches that were made. Again, Vernon Jones, Doug Collins, Trump Jr., and then Vernon Jones again. There were some great speeches in there, so don't miss that. Methods was right. A must watch indeed. A must watch. So let's go ahead and get into the first article here. And this has to do with some censorship that happened today. Yes, big tech is censoring in a bigger way than I think that we've ever seen. Thank you for the diamond, Trump Be Cool. Thank you very much. I really, the censorship is reaching like a fever pitch here. It says on the Gateway Pundit, Steve Bannon's War Room banned by YouTube and Twitter at nearly the same time. This happened earlier today. Twitter and YouTube have both censored Steve Bannon's War Room within hours of each other in what appears to be a clear, coordinated effort to silence him. The show was targeted by a censorship campaign from the far-left anti-free speech extremists at Media Matters and lost both accounts on Thursday. Here's Raheem Kassam tweeting about it. Looks permanent. Time to bring at War Room 2020 back. And then we've got LAOFAS on Twitter saying YouTube just took down Steve Bannon War Room. The show made major waves in the lead up to the election while they were in possession of a copy of Hunter Biden's hard drive and exposed deep-rooted corruption in the family. War Room co-host Raheem Kassam tweeted that they will be switching. They will just be switching to use another service. You can follow the War Room for updates over on Parler, and I'll give you guys the link to that Parler account in the live chat, and then I will also give you guys the link to this story. It's not the only instance of censorship that we've seen today. Here is another big one. After Brian Cates shared information. Oh, his YouTube channel is back now, OG Wiz says. So the YouTube, according to OG Wiz out there in the live chat, the YouTube channel is back for Steve Bannon's War Room. And I'm just going to go ahead and check for you guys in real time if that is the case. Just give me a moment. Steve Bannon War Room. Let's see if it's up there. All right, so yes, the channel is back. They have brought the channel back. Thank you, OG Wiz. There's a link to the War Room channel. This is why I love doing what I do here. This is why I love having a live chat. This is why I love having viewers that are so on it and informed. Seriously, this is the best way to do this stuff, because if you do something wrong, your viewers will let you know, and I appreciate that very much. We are all a big team here, absolutely. So, at Draw and Strike, who is Brian Cates, was suspended from Twitter after sharing a theory, kind of a rumor, basically. Best chat on the web, says Vernon Peterson. Yes, absolutely, the best chat on the web. Yeah, Brian Cates was removed from Twitter. His account was suspended after sharing a theory that the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump administration basically ran a sting operation on this election to expose the fraud. Now, have I seen anything other than the one thing that was circulating around suggesting that? No, I have not. But do I find that theory plausible? Do I think that it's outside of the realm of possibility that the Trump administration planned for this and set up a way to expose it and prevent it at the same time, I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibilities. So I'm going to let you guys all make your decision on that. And of course, we'll wait until more information comes out about that. I predict that in a number of days, we will be finding out a whole lot more about the situation. It is the 2020 United States presidential election, after all. Not really something that can be swept under the rug and memory hold, is it? Let's go ahead. We'll get into the next story here. And this is, yes, the president of the United States has actually been extensively censored today on Twitter. So this is from Just the News, the publication that John Solomon runs. And it says, Twitter continues to censor President Trump's tweets on ballot counting. Quote, some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading. Twitter has decided that Americans can't see any of the tweets posted by America's president. If you go on the social media site right now, Trump's top post isn't visible. Instead, there's this note, quote, some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Site visitors can still click view on the right side to see the post. In that post, Trump said, quote, all of the recent Biden-claimed states will be legally challenged by us for voter fraud and state election fraud. Plenty of proof. Just check out the media. We will win. America first. Twitter also provides another link aside many of the president's tweets that take visitors to a page titled, quote, civic integrity policy. I'll stop right there. I'll also explain to you, if you go to President Trump's Twitter account right now and you try to retweet a number of his tweets, they will simply not retweet. You can't even like them. So they are actively stopping the president's message from being spread on Twitter. They're treading on very, very, very thin ice right now. And earlier, I actually tweeted, half joking, I tagged Twitter and I dared them to suspend or ban President Trump's account. I dared them because we all have an idea of what measures President Trump could take, and how much this fight could be escalated if they were to ban President Trump's account. And there are a number of theories on that, but I think it would be the nail in the final coffin for big tech, for the president of the United States to have his Twitter account banned because Twitter disagrees with his views. Let's go ahead. We'll move on. There's plenty of more stories to go through, and I want to go ahead and I'll have a little monologue just to encourage everybody at the end of this. Federal investigators arrive in Michigan after voter fraud allegation video goes viral. As the chaos of the 2020 election drags well beyond Election Day itself, voter fraud is quickly becoming the biggest issue in the few remaining contested states. That's true. Now, after a bombshell investigative video out of Michigan may have exposed alleged organized voter fraud, it appears the cavalry has finally arrived. According to Michigan's 9 and 10 News, federal investigators arrived in the state on Thursday. Sent by the United States Postal Service to a Traverse City post office, the inspectors will be looking into alleged voter fraud exposed by a Project Veritas video. The bombshell video shows Project Veritas's James O'Keefe talking with a USPS whistleblower in Michigan who claims to have witnessed organized voter fraud. According to the whistleblower, a supervisor advised mail carriers to fraudulently backdate and postmark ballots to November 3rd to fool election officials into counting them. Watch the insider explaining the alleged scheme to O'Keefe below. And we do have permission to play videos from James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. So let's just go ahead. We'll play this through and hear James O'Keefe and the whistleblower out.
Tell us where you work.
I work in the Traverse City Post Office, more specifically the Barlow branch.
Your boss told you and your colleagues something that shocked you this morning. What was it?
We were issued a directive this morning to collect any ballots we find in mailboxes, collection boxes, just outgoing mail in general, separate them at the end of the day so that they could hand stamp them with the previous day's date. Today is November 4th, for clarification.
Who is your boss, and what is his title?
Jonathan would be a direct supervisor, yes. As of right now, he is the opening supervisor for the Barlow branch post office. So and this is anecdotal, carrier down in another office said they watched the postmaster doing it. If it were just a typical day, it would be clerks doing it up at the distribution center.
So 8 p.m. election day, November 3rd, the Court of Appeals ruled ballots have to be received by that time. And what were you told?
To separate them today so they could mark them with yesterday's date and send them through the express system to wherever they needed to go.
This appears to be an attempt to circumvent Michigan law and allow late votes. And you said there was a hamper where letter carriers were supposed to leave their ballots. Where are the ballots now?
They were putting them into express bags to go to the distribution center. In regards to a hamper, there was a standard hamper that all letter mail is supposed to go to, and they had a tub next to it that we were supposed to put any ballots collected today into.
Yes. What made you come forward?
That's sketchy. Like sketchy, it screams corruption. Also knowing the post office's leanings politically, it didn't seem quite right.
What is your message to other postal workers who see things like this?
Report it. How are we supposed to have any integrity in this country if we are just going to let things slide based on a scaling issue?
Are you afraid of retaliation against you?
I've had whistleblower policies backfire on me in the past, so yes.
We'll have to reach out to Jonathan Clark for comment. Hey, is this Jonathan?
Yes.
Hey, I'm a reporter with Project Veritas, James O'Keefe here, and I have information that you guys have been stamping ballots with the previous date, November 3rd. He just hung up the phone on me. He just hung up the phone on me.
What does a coward do when he's caught red-handed? Well, he hangs up the phone on James O'Keefe. What a beautiful, beautiful moment there. I'm telling you guys, this is all being exposed. This is all being investigated, right? One way or another, I believe we're going to come out of this victorious. And we're also going to probably come out of this with some prospects for justice for what is being done to our election system right now. So let's keep reading this article here. The video soon went viral and was spread across Twitter, Facebook, and other sites. Word soon reached the office of the Inspector General, who confirmed to Project Veritas that the allegation was being investigated. And here's the tweet from Project Veritas. The Office of the Inspector General at USPS contacted us last night and said that they have seen the bombshell whistleblower video and are looking into it. According to 9 and 10 News, the state of Michigan required ballots to be received no later than 8 p.m. on November 3rd, and ballots received later, regardless of the postmark, will not be counted. Even so, this investigation is good news for every American who wants free, open, and fair elections. The alleged scheme to fraudulently backdate ballots is only one of the issues to come out of the crucial Michigan election. Earlier this week, it was discovered that an issue with election programs tallied only 2 votes for a Republican candidate. Yes, that's correct. Only 2 votes for a Republican candidate, despite many more supporters in the area. It's thought that 33 other counties in the state could be affected by the same issue. Regardless of what these federal investigators discover, it's clear that Michigan's elections were far from perfect, and it wasn't the only state where we had far from perfect elections. Guys, over in DLive, again, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot, and I see all your funny stickers coming in. Super Tads giving diamonds. People are following the channels or the channel there. People are giving lemons. So appreciate you guys very, very, very much. Thank you so much for that. And also you guys in YouTube for watching too. Just everybody that's watching right now. I appreciate you. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. This is pretty huge. This comes from the Gateway Pundit, and it has to do with Maricopa County, which we saw big time problems in election night. So it says, breaking 73,976 ballots released by Maricopa County, 56.1% for Donald Trump. That's one heck of a margin, guys. Maricopa County, Arizona has released 73,976 ballots shortly after 9 p.m., and 56.1% of them were for President Donald Trump. This number is right on track for what President Trump needs to prevail in the state, especially after overperforming in the liberal stronghold of Pima County. The breakdown of the latest ballot release went 42,276 for President Trump, and 31,700 for Joe Biden. The liberal stronghold of Pima County, Arizona, also published the results of 28,344 more ballots just after 8 p.m., and President Donald Trump took them by a 5.1% margin. Of the 28,344 ballots, 13,045 were for Biden, and 14,484 were for President Donald Trump. The liberal media had been teasing a huge win in Pima County as a large part of their projection of Joe Biden taking the state. Arizona was called early for Joe Biden by multiple networks and news outlets, including Fox News. Screw you, Fox News, you suck. However, it remains up for grabs by the Trump campaign. So I think we're headed in the right direction, not only in Arizona, but in other states as well, as this voter fraud is being exposed and reversed. Here's one from the Epoch Times, and this has to do with one of the many lawsuits that have come out of all this election fraud stuff. And I do believe, before I read this, guys, do not worry about this headline here. I do believe this stuff is going to end up in the Supreme Court. It will be appealed and appealed and appealed over again until we find it in the Supreme Court. And who knows what's going to happen, guys. I can't make every prediction, but that's just what I believe is going to happen. A federal judge has dismissed a Trump campaign lawsuit against the Philadelphia Board of Elections that sought to stop election officials counting ballots so long as Republican observers are not present, as it said was required under Pennsylvania law. Now, the Republican election watchers or observers, this is not the only place, right, Pennsylvania, where this is happening. They're stopping the watchers that are Republicans from entering the polls, also in Detroit and probably in other places as well. But you know, before I say it, you know, as a fact, I want to go ahead and check that. But so yeah, this is not just going on in Pennsylvania, but this is the article is about the lawsuit in Pennsylvania. So let's continue. The Trump campaign's lawsuit against the city's election board was filed with the federal court in Philadelphia on Thursday afternoon. The campaign said that election officials are, quote, intentionally refusing to allow any representatives and poll watchers for President Trump and the Republican Party from Philadelphia's ballot counting area inside the Pennsylvania Convention Center. So a small update from today with one of these lawsuits, of which there are many. I believe President Trump is suing in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Nevada, I believe in Georgia, and Arizona, I think, too. Yes. Kitty Woo out there saying, Season Pixels, you're doing a fantastic job. Great to be here. Thank you very much, Kitty Woo. And thank you for being a member of the channel. We appreciate that very much. You just put a smile on my face. We'll continue on. This probably goes on for quite some time, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Let me go ahead. I'll share the link for you guys because I'm trying to save time here. I don't want to be here for an hour and a half. It's already pretty late in the night. There's a link to that one. The previous story from the Gateway Pundit. Sorry, guys, I forgot to share the links. Here you are. Just want to make sure that I share all these links for you guys so you can go ahead and share them across your social media and you know, whatnot. Because really, with all this censorship happening, with all this censorship that's going on, it's up to us to share this information, to get it out there, to multiply our message, right? To amplify our message. Let's go ahead, read the next one here from Gateway Pundit. And this is also a really big one. As many as 6,000 illegal votes identified in Nevada. Thousands of people referred to DOJ for potential criminal violation of election laws. A law firm working in conjunction with the Trump campaign's legal team has identified as many as 6,000 illegal votes in Nevada. A letter was sent to the Clark County, Nevada District Attorney alleging voter fraud by people who were not legal residents of Clark County. Quote, indeed, we have initially identified 3,062 voters who moved from Nevada before the election but still cast ballots in this election, the letter to the Clark County DA read. We have verified this by cross-referencing the list of general election voters with publicly available change of address records. Quote, for instance, demographic experts agree that the National Change of Address database only captures about 1/3 of relocations. Consequently, this number will likely grow by 6,000 voters at minimum. And OG Wiz out there saying, I'm finally getting sleepy. Wish I could stay up longer to listen to Season Pixels, but I better hit the pillow while I can. Good night, everyone. God bless y'all. Well, God bless you, OG Wiz. Thank you for being here and have a great rest. Okay, we'll continue on here. Here's the letter. John Roberts posted this to Twitter. Here's the letter that this information is coming from. The Nevada GOP sent a criminal referral to U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr regarding the 3,062 instances of voter fraud identified by Trump's legal team. Our lawyers just sent a criminal referral to AG Barr regarding at least 3,062 instances of voter fraud that's coming from the Nevada GOP. Rick Grinnell is on the ground in Nevada fighting like hell to make sure officials are counting legal ballots only. And I do applaud Richard Grinnell for fighting in the way that he is right now. He's done a lot of great things for this country, and this is just another one to add to the roster. Noted attorney Harmeet Dillon is also fighting to count legal votes only. She tweeted the same thing here from John Roberts. Boom, as many as 6,000 illegal votes identified in Nevada. So yeah, I'll give you guys the link to that. I'm telling you guys, with each and every story like this, it's becoming clear they planned for this. They knew this was coming, and now they are on the attack. They are not going to let this happen. Before I go ahead and play the video from the White House today, I want to touch base with something that General Flynn posted to Twitter. He says, thank you at Fog City Midge and at Tracy Beams for bringing this important AG Barr message for what we're currently facing. The quote unquote regular media is an abomination to our constitutional republic. Hashtag stop the steal. And then he tags Sidney Powell. Who's this here? Molly McCann, Rudy Giuliani, Pam Bondi, and Carrie Kupek. Let's take a quick listen to what Bill Barr says here. This was back, remember, in September.
The bipartisan commission chaired by Jimmy Carter and James Baker said back in 2009 that mail-in voting is fraught with the risk of fraud and coercion.
But since then, there have been until this administration haven't proved it.
Let me talk. In the newspapers, in networks, academic studies saying it is open to fraud and coercion. The only time the narrative changed is after this administration.
So you heard the man. And they've been on this. They've been on this. Remember the drop. Remember the drop that said, do not mistake silence for inaction, right? There's been talk about how Bill Barr is sitting back. He's radio silent. He hasn't really said anything about this. But remember, do not mistake silence for inaction, because quite frankly, when very high up players are silent, that is when things are happening. We've seen this happen over and over and over again throughout these tumultuous 4 years. So just remember that. Take a step back. Take a deep breath if you are one of those people that put a 1 in live chat, right? That you're worried that's what's going to happen. Trust me, President Trump, his administration, they knew this was coming and they planned for it. And I believe that this is going to come to head. It's all going to come to a head in the most fantastic and, honestly, for the deep state, devastating way. Everything is going to be exposed. Trust me. And I believe it's going to start with the voter fraud. After that, after the voter fraud is exposed and it is reversed, President Trump will win a second term in the presidency of the United States. And when he wins another term, he is going to obliterate all of them. He has used this first 4 years of his administration to set the stage, to prepare the public, to get everything in place for what is going to happen in his second term. I believe that when President Trump reaches that goal of the second term, and I believe he will, he is going to go scorched earth on them. Anon out there says, second term, the gloves come off. Exactly. And I believe that's what we're getting ready to see here. So I know it's hard, guys. I know it's hard. It was hard for me. I had to take some time to step back and to look at all of this and to really think logically about everything, not to allow my anger, not to allow my outrage, not to allow my thirst for justice to emotionally blind me. I had to take a step back and stay strong, just like Vernon Peterson out there is saying. I had to take a step back and look at all of this and realize this is a trap. I really do believe this is a trap. And the Democrats, in their insane level of arrogance, in their overconfidence, in their overplaying, they fell for it. And I can't wait to see how this movie ends. Because remember, guys, we're watching a movie. President Trump is the most powerful man in the world, and he will remain so. At least, right? Let's assume that maybe Biden wins the presidency. Trump has until the end of January. And keep in mind, the powers of the presidency they reach far beyond anything that President Trump has thus far done. He has not used the full power of the presidency that exists. So keep that in mind too. He knows what's coming because he's in control. He's not going to let them steal the election. He's already told you, and I'll play that video here shortly. He's already claiming victory. When has President Trump been wrong? Right? All the media conglomerates, all these people in the mainstream media, all of these so-called journalists who are really just activists, the entire time throughout this fight, they have laughed at him. They have called him crazy. They've called him a conspiracy theorist. He's done the same thing to us, or they've done the same thing to us. But every time, President Trump is proven right. Think back to when they laughed at him and ridiculed him for claiming that his campaign was wiretapped. We all know that to be true now. Now President Trump is claiming victory. Now he's saying that the Democrats and Joe Biden are trying to steal this election. Do you think he's wrong? Of course you don't. So take a deep breath, smile, and listen to your commander-in-chief, Donald John Trump. Let's check it out, guys. Here's what he said earlier today at the White House.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. As everybody saw, we won by historic numbers. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no blue wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big blue wave. That was false. It was done for suppression reasons. But instead, there was a big red wave. And it's been properly acknowledged, actually, by the media. They were, I think, very impressed. But that was after the fact. That doesn't do us any good. We kept the Senate despite having twice as many seats to defend as Democrats. And in a really much more competitive states, we did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents' major donors were Wall Street bankers and special interests. Our major donors were police officers, farmers, everyday citizens. Yet for the first time ever, we lost 0 races in the House. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't believe it. 0 races, very unusual thing, 0. And actually won many new seats with, I think, many more on the way. This was also the year of the Republican woman. More Republican women were elected to Congress than ever before. That's a great achievement. I won the largest share of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years, including historic numbers of Latino, African American, Asian American, and Native American voters, the largest ever in our history. We grew our party by 4 million voters, the greatest turnout in Republican Party history. Democrats are the party of the big donors, the big media, the big tech, it seems, and Republicans have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And we're also, I believe, the party of inclusion. As everyone now recognizes, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of that word by powerful special interests. These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion of momentum for Mr. Biden, and diminish Republicans' ability to raise funds. They were what's called suppression polls. Everyone knows that now. And it's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. To highlight just a few examples, the day before election, Quinnipiac, which was wrong on every occasion that I know of, had Joe Biden up by 5 points in Florida, and they were off by 8.4 points, and I won Florida easily. So they had me losing Florida by a lot, and I ended up winning Florida by a lot. Other than that, they were very accurate. They had him up 4 points in Ohio, and they were off by 12.2 points. And I also won Ohio, great state of Ohio, very easily. The Washington Post had Biden up 17 points in Wisconsin, and it was basically even. They were off by about 17 points. And they knew that. They're not stupid people. They knew that. Suppression. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers. We went to court in a couple of instances, and we were able to get the observers put in. And when the observers got there, they wanted them 60, 70 feet away, 80 feet, 100 feet away, or outside the building to observe people inside the building. And we won a case, a big case, and we have others happening. There are lots of litigation, even beyond our litigation. There's tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was. And I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system. And it makes people corrupt even if they aren't by nature. But they become corrupt. It's too easy. They want to find out how many votes they need, and then they seem to be able to find them. They wait, and then they find them. And you see that on election night. We were ahead in vote in North Carolina by a lot, tremendous number of votes. And we're still ahead by a lot, but not as many because they're finding ballots all of a sudden. Oh, we have some mail-in ballots. It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided. We were up by nearly 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I won Pennsylvania by a lot, and that gets whittled down to, I think they said now we're up by 90,000 votes, and they'll keep coming and coming and coming. They find them all over, and they don't want us to have any observers, although we won a court case. The judge said you have to have observers. Likewise in Georgia, and they're appealing. Actually, they're appealing. We won a case that we want people to watch, and we want observers, and they're actually appealing, which is sort of interesting. I wonder why they'd appeal, that all we want to do is have people watch as they do the vote tabulations. Likewise in Georgia, I won by a lot, with a lead of over getting close to 300,000 votes on election night in Georgia. And by the way, got whittled down, and now it's getting to be to a point where I'll go from winning by a lot to perhaps being even down a little bit. In Georgia, a pipe burst in a faraway location, totally unrelated to the location of what was happening, and they stopped counting for 4 hours, and a lot of things happened. The election apparatus in Georgia is run by Democrats. We also had margins of 300,000 in Michigan. We're way up in Michigan, won the state, and in Wisconsin, we did likewise fantastically well. And that got whittled down. In every case, they got whittled down. Today, we're on track to win Arizona. We only need to carry, I guess, 55% of the remaining vote, 55% margins, and that's a margin that we've significantly exceeded. So we'll see what happens with that, but we're on track to do okay in Arizona. Our goal is to defend the integrity of the election. We'll not allow the corruption to steal such an important election, or any election for that matter. And we can't allow anybody to silence our voters and manufacture results. I've been doing a lot of public things for a long time. I've never had anything that's been as inspirational, by people calling, talking, sending things to us. I've never seen such love and such affection and such spirit as I've seen for this. People know what's happening, and they see what's happening, and it's before their eyes. And there are many instances which will be reported very shortly. There's tremendous litigation going on, and this is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. Detroit and Philadelphia, known as two of the most corrupt political places anywhere in our country, easily cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race. In Pennsylvania, Democrats have gone to the state Supreme Court to try and ban our election observers, and very strongly. Now, we won the case, but they're going forward. They don't want anybody in there. They don't want anybody watching them as they count the ballots. And I can't imagine why. There's absolutely no legitimate reason why they would not want to have people watching this process, because if it's straight, they should be proud of it. Instead, they're trying, obviously, to commit fraud. There's no question about that. In Philadelphia, observers have been kept far away, very far away, so far that people are using binoculars to try and see, and there's been tremendous problems caused. They put paper on all of the windows so you can't see in, and the people that are banned are very unhappy and become somewhat violent. The 11th Circuit ruled that in Georgia, the votes have been in by Election Day, that they should be in by Election Day, and they weren't. Votes are coming in after Election Day. And they had a ruling already that you have to have the votes in by Election Day. To the best of my knowledge, votes should be in by Election Day. And they didn't do that. Democrat officials never believed they could win this election honestly. I really believe that. That's why they did the mail-in ballots, where there's tremendous corruption and fraud going on. That's why they mailed out tens of millions of unsolicited ballots without any verification measures whatsoever. And I've told everybody that these things would happen, because I've seen it happen. I watched a lot of different elections before they decided to go with this big, massive election with tens of millions of ballots going out to everybody, in many cases totally unsolicited. This was unprecedented in American history. This was by design, despite years of claiming to care about the election security. They refused to include any requirement to verify signatures, identities, or even determine whether they're eligible or ineligible to vote. People are walking in there. They have no idea. They're just taking numbers. They're writing down things, the workers, and doing a lot of bad things. And we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will shake even you people up. And you've seen it all. The officials overseeing the counting in Pennsylvania and other key states are all part of a corrupt Democrat machine that you've written about, and for a long time you've been writing about the corrupt Democrat machine. I went to school there, and I know a lot about it. It hasn't changed. It's a long time ago, and hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. In Pennsylvania, partisan Democrats have allowed ballots in the state to be received 3 days after the election. And we think much more than that. And they're counting those without even postmarks or any identification whatsoever. So you don't have postmarks, you don't have identification. There have been a number of disturbing irregularities across the nation. Our campaign has been denied access to observe any counting in Detroit. Detroit is another place, and I wouldn't say has the best reputation for election integrity. Poll workers in Michigan were duplicating ballots, but when our observers attempted to challenge the activity, those poll workers jumped in front of the volunteers to block their view so that they couldn't see what they were doing. And it became a little bit dangerous. One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard. And so they wanted to protect and block the counting area. They didn't want anybody seeing the counting, even though these were observers who were legal observers that were supposed to be there. In Detroit, there were hours of unexplained delay in delivering many of the votes for counting. The final batch did not arrive until 4 in the morning. And even though the polls closed at 8 o'clock, so they brought it in, and the batches came in, and nobody knew where they came from. We've also been denied access to observe in critical places in Georgia. In multiple swing states, counting was halted for hours and hours on election night, with results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later, and they suddenly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all, I think almost all. They all had the name Biden on them, which is a little strange. I challenge Joe and every Democrat to clarify that they only want legal votes, because they talk about votes, and I think they should use the word legal votes. We want every legal vote counted, and I want every legal vote counted. We want openness and transparency, no secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election Day, and the laws are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and they don't want votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, and we want an honest count, and we want honest people working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States will win. And we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you. And I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy to handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be hopefully cleared up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, and we can both claim the states, but ultimately I have a feeling judges are going to have to rule. But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and we can't stand for that in our country. Thank you very much.
You heard it from President Trump, everybody. You heard it. They've been caught. They have been caught in this act. And that is why there's a smile on my face right now. I believe that this voter fraud, in the process of being exposed right now, will be reversed. President Trump will win re-election, get another 4 years. And in the process of all of this, well, we've just incriminated basically the entire Democratic Party in trying to steal the election after 4 years of falsely claiming that they care about the integrity of our elections. Guys, the truth is being revealed. We as a society, as a country, the United States of America, had to be pushed to the brink of destruction for people to find the will to change. And today, I have many people that I know in my personal life reaching out to me to ask me what's going on, because they're finally realizing now that the entire country isn't being told the result of the 2020 presidential election. Now they care. That's another beautiful part of this. Everybody, this touches everybody, every American, every single American can see what is happening right now. And maybe some of those people are blaming the opposite side that is actually responsible for it, but at least at this point in time, they care. This is an awakening of our country. It's happening. It is happening. The Democrats have attempted to steal this election. They've attempted to deprive the people of their voice. And they're being caught in the act, red-handed. You guys are going to love how this ends. I really, I'm faithfully saying that. You're going to love how this movie ends. And President Trump is getting another 4 more years. And I have a feeling that the deep state, the shadow government, the cabal, the Democrats, whatever you want to call them, their reckoning is at hand. If you are still worried, and I would totally understand if you are, just pray. Pray for comfort. Pray for this country. Pray for our president. And everything is going to be fine. I promise. Keep the faith, everybody. Hold the line. Do not give up. They would love for us all to give up and concede right now, but do not. Stand fast in the face of this enemy, and we will prevail. The truth will prevail, and the republic will not be lost. I'm saying this with complete and utter certainty. So that's really all I've got for you guys tonight. I want to go ahead and read some of your guys' comments. You guys have been very supportive tonight, and I appreciate that, both on DLive and on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button. I want to get this live stream rewatched as much as possible, so hit the like. It'll show up. It'll cut on through the algorithms. What are some of you guys saying out there? Super Tad's been just inundating the channel over on DLive with ice creams and diamonds and everything else. So thank you very much. JSTRX is donating ice creams as well. A bunch of really great gifts and messages and everything out there. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, a lot of people saying amen. Say a prayer. I'm not good at ad-lib prayer. I'm not good at breaking into prayer. Just all of a sudden. So say your own prayers. Every one of those gives an amen for me, but just pray for the country. Pray for the president. Pray for comfort. If you are feeling worried, just pray for comfort. And take a step back, look at all of this logically, and keep fighting. Fight, fight, fight. Do not give up. Keep doing what you're doing on social media. Keep talking to your friends and family. Keep this going, because it's not over. It's far from over. This is only the beginning. Get ready for a wild ride, guys, because I think between now and inauguration date, it's going to be one hell of a show. So really, that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Irish Rose, thank you very much. I love you. I love all of you guys for sticking with us throughout this tumultuous, hard 4 years, and especially this last year. It's been very, very hard, and it's been that way on purpose. They want to demoralize us, right? They want us to believe that we're defeated, but we're not, and we won't accept defeat. We will not hand our country over to these disgusting, immoral, corrupt, evil people. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because you know what? God has his hand on this president. And God is the ultimate authority in this universe. So smile, take a deep breath, do not concede defeat, and keep fighting. Guys, I'm getting even more support. Vernon Peterson says, pray for President Trump. Thank you for the super chat. Another super sticker that says thank you from G. Marie. Thank you guys very, very, very much. As well as the support that I keep getting over here on D Live too. I'm looking down at my phone. Ravelon just donated 1 diamond, says thank you for the comforting words. Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for the diamond. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Coffee Lady 59 just donated 3 lemons as well. JSTRX just donated another lemon. Appreciate you guys. Much love, much love. Well said, young man, says Vox Clementis. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Soko, if you're out there, go ahead and open up that chest because I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close this down. God bless all of you. Lorinda Krause, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Sharon Hobbs, hello to you. Hello to you. John B says, God sent Trump to us. That's absolutely correct. He did. God put President Trump in this position for this point in time in history, this 8-year span of cleansing of our nation and giving our nation back to the people. Guys, you're the best. That's really all I've got for you guys tonight. I want to make sure that that chest gets opened 5x5. If you can go ahead and do that, Laura, I'd appreciate that because I'm not even over at the D Live side and I don't have the login even to the D Live. So guys, thank you very much. There's more to come. Remember, there's more news to come. It's going to keep going on overnight and throughout the day tomorrow. So we will keep you updated. Myself and the team members here at 5x5, we will keep you updated. And again, we are going to win this. So this has been Season Pixels with a StormWatch, a live StormWatch special report on the election here in 2020. Much love, you guys. Seriously, love and light to all of you. Pray, 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 pray for this country. Keep fighting. We will win this. This is not over. Remember that. And trust President Trump and trust God. Guys, I'm out. Love you guys. And we'll see you soon.